To begin our session, it is my pleasure to invite our first speaker, Mr. Matthew Akinpelu, who is the founder of Iskanet. He has supported many through employability, guidance, strategic networking, and career development pathways. Today, he'll be speaking on breaking into opportunities, how to position yourself for career success in the UK. So, Mr. Matthew, over to you, sir.
Thank you very much for that. Good evening, everyone. First and foremost, can you all see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay, what can you see? I want to be sure I'm sharing the right screen.
Yeah, you always like
Is it a slide?
Yeah, breaking into opportunities in the UK.
All right, perfect. All right, so good evening, everyone. My name is Matthew. I said, because of the short time, I'm just going to go straight into the point. All right, let's converse. And I wouldn't want you to take this as a typical lecture room. I want it to be very interactive. So if at some point I'm talking and you have any question, please do as much as possible to write them down or probably drop it in the chat. I'm sure the host will keep an eye on the chat to see any questions coming in. One of my favorite parts of having conversation, this is not a presentation, this is me having conversations with my brothers and sisters. One of the best part of me having conversation is you are asking me questions. Okay, because the more you ask questions, the better is the chances of knowing some of these things and gaining in knowledge. So, in a nutshell, I'm going to be very honest with you, and I'm going to be telling you a couple of brutal truth here that is not going to be commercially available to you. All right. Most international students in the UK are doing everything they are told to do. Apply on LinkedIn, fix your CV, keep applying every day. But then they're still getting rejected. So now, what is the question? Is the problem really international students, or is it the strategy you've been using that is wrong? Because what I've realized is this: getting opportunities in the UK is not about how many jobs you apply for. It's pretty much about how visible you are, how you position yourself, and who knows you. So you might think that probably who knows you kind of only just work back home in Nigeria. No, it works here professionally, though, in the UK too. So today I'm going to show you what actually works, not theory, not guesswork, but what I've seen work consistently. I've been opportunity to go through hundreds of international students' CVs. I've gone through CVs. I'm not going to mention the continent or the countries, right? I've gone through CVs where people have put in their blood type on their CV, which is not what is needed here in the UK. But we are going to get to that as we move on today. Uh, so now, why most people don't get job? Now, oftentimes you're going to see, I've heard cases where people who are overqualified are doing many jobs that they are not happy in, right? Happy doing. Now, is it their fault? Now, you're going to ask the question, why most people are struggling? It's not because they are not qualified. It's not because there are no jobs. It's because they are following the wrong approach. And in the UK, once you understand the system, the better it is for you. Most people are just applying, and hoping that something will definitely come out from it. I was recruiting for a role some couple of weeks ago, and in less than about 2 hours, we had over 500 people applying for that role. How do you now intend to stand out of 500 people who have applied to a role which is not up to a week? Because AI has made a lot of things possible now, mass application. Okay, but what makes you different? You've just because one of the challenges that when you're not visible to recruiters, which is the no visibilities, you don't stand a better chances. Statistics have shown that Loads of the jobs gotten in the UK are through referrals, which we're going to talk about today. So the more you rely on application alone, the more frustrated you are going to become. So it is nice we're having this kind of conversation today to kind of drill down into what am I doing wrongly and how can I position myself better. So if applying blindly doesn't work, what actually is going on? Here's the truth. Most people don't realize that not all jobs are on LinkedIn. There are so many job boards out there. So many job boards. Do the career page. It's kind of got a job board. What we pretty much do is to ensure that we aggregate jobs from all over the world on the platform because it can be extremely stressful to go to multiple job boards to apply for roles. Okay, so there's a huge number of opportunities that are never publicly advertised also. And that's what a lot of international students do not understand. And that is why when we have conversations like this, or you find yourself in a seminar, physical seminar, or anywhere, endeavor to always engage because it's extremely very, very important. So as you can see, there are over 70%. Now, I don't know if any of you must have heard this slogan, 70% eating job markets. What that means literally is that an hiring manager of an organization wants to employ for a role, and the hiring manager talked to maybe either team members, and either team members felt that, oh, I've got somebody within my network who fits this criteria of what we're looking for. They could reach out to that person, and if the person comes through, make the application, they could get a job. I mean, if they are qualified. So that's what is called hidden job markets. Hidden job markets are jobs that didn't make its way to the job board. They are jobs that didn't make its way to recruitment agencies. How are you going to get those jobs? It is through networking. Okay, so referrals also is also very, very important. Okay, the more you network with people, the better is your chances for getting referrals onto opportunities that is even beyond your own network. Okay, so what that means is that by the time you're seeing a job online, you're already late in the process when it comes to the hidden job markets. Okay, and visibility over CV, what that pretty much means is that being known matters most even than your CV. Okay, so in anywhere in the world, you have to ensure that you're showing up. I know back home we've been told that your work is going to speak for you, but in this part of the world, in the UK or in the Western world, you have to show up. If you don't show up, your work is not going to speak for you, and that is the truth. Okay, um, so let's go to the next slide. Three ways people actually get opportunities is simple. All right, and we're going to talk about that today. From what I've seen and from my own experience, there are three ways people consistently get opportunities in the UK. And this can be applicable, this is also applicable in the US also. First of all, is the referrals. Someone inside your company mentions your name, and instantly you're no longer a stranger. Secondly, recruiters relationship, not just sending CVs, but what you need to do is to actually build connections with recruiters who bring opportunities to you. There are ways you can build opportunities, build relationships with recruiters. And the last one is direct outreach, reaching out to hiring managers, employees, decision makers, and positioning yourself before a role is even posted can also help you to optimize your chances in the UK. So that's how people are getting ahead, not by applying more, but by being positioned better. And that is almost applicable in other areas of your life, to professional areas of your life. So you don't have to always just rely on your CV alone. But we're going to come back to CV. anyway. Because why I'm saying that is because a lot of people kind of think that, oh, with my CV alone, I'm just going to be able to get the job. All right. But there are other strategies for you to be able to get the job likewise. Now, let's talk about networking because a lot of people are doing it completely wrong. Most people network like, I saw your profile. Can you help me get a job? Nobody's going to listen to you on LinkedIn because LinkedIn has, I think now, LinkedIn has over 1 billion users. And to be honest, hi, I saw your profile. Can you help me get a job? It doesn't work because networking is not about asking for help immediately. It's about building a genuine relationship. What actually works is simple. You engage first, you add value. When you don't have a value to add, nobody wants to associate with you. And you have to stay consistently. For example, LinkedIn is a very good platform for you to be able to engage with recruiters or hiring managers in an organization. You comment on their posts, you share insights, you show interest in what they are doing. And over time, you become familiar. Because whenever any application comes to us, right? If I'm recruiting for a role, every HR goes to LinkedIn to go and search for your profile. They want to know if you have a voice in the field you're applying to. So that's why networking is very, very important. It's different from what Instagram and TikTok and Facebook does. LinkedIn is a much more professional space that is almost very, very important for you if you're in the UK. Not just the UK alone, in the Western world precisely. And I think that is kind of coming up a little bit in Nigeria, but in the Western world, it is a thing. Okay. So where are opportunities? There are roles that are filled through conversations. Like, for example, the other day, about 2, 3 months ago, someone within our team of mentees got a job by just going to an hackathon. He did not apply for the role, and this was a skilled worker visa job. He didn't apply for the role. He just went for an hackathon, which we saw, like, okay, all right, you're going to fit this profile. Just go for the hackathon. Hackathon, if you're not a technical person, is almost like a place where you solve problems, they test your technical skills, you form a team to solve a problem within 24 hours, 48 hours, depending on the hackathon. And the person got a job. Why? Because he was there, he had a conversation, he came up with an idea that could work. The CEO of a company that had just received funding of about, I think, about 10 million pounds, just said, oh, I think you're going to fit our team. So would you be happy to join our team? He didn't go through interview. He just showed up there. That was through conversation. Another way you can get jobs or through communities like this. For example, now the old school just tell you and say, oh, we've got this opportunity that's an organization have just informed us, please apply. You're going to be the first set of people that are going to apply. All right. Event like this also helps and direct interaction. So before they are everly advertised, you get the information firsthand. Like, for example, now think about it. A company needs someone before they go through the stress of posting a job because it can be very, very expensive posting jobs. It can be very expensive for businesses. So if they can get it in a more cheap way, they would want to. Okay, so before they go through the whole posting of job, featuring CVs, doing interviews, they ask internally, does anyone know someone that is good that can fill in the role? And most organizations, I mean, I used to work in JP Morgan. Most organizations kind of used to give their staffs bonuses for bringing staffs into their organizations. So, for example, maybe a role like mechanical engineering is going up for advertisement next week. The hiring manager could just go in and say, you know what, do you know anyone who's going to be a good fit for this role? If you are able to get someone who's fit for the role, pass the interview and onboarded, you're going to get like X number of pounds. Sometimes it could be in thousands, depending on the level of the role, actually. Okay, so that happens in organization because it saves them time and it saves them money. So if your entire strategy is just sitting at home applying online, you're missing where the real opportunities are happening. And I'm very, very happy that you're here today. So you need to be in the rooms, you need to be in conversations, you need to be seen, which is extremely very, very important. Now, how do you position yourself for sponsorship? One attitude I want to tell you today is that there are companies who pay £10,000 for sponsorship alone. That is just paying the legal fee, or that's just paying a consultation fee. So for you to be sponsored, they need to make a serious case that you're going to be a good return on investment for the business. So if you're not going to be a good return on investment for the business, they will pretty much not want to spend that amount of money on you. So you have to make a case. And then how do you make a case? You need to show up. Okay? You need to have a strategy. Most importantly, a lot of people believe companies don't want to sponsor. In 2020, there were just less than 35,000 licensed companies in the UK. Today, we have over 140,000 licensed companies in the UK. So when you say companies don't want to sponsor, it's because you've not been able to show to them that you're worth the investment. Okay? So companies don't avoid sponsorship, they avoid risk. If hiring you feel risky, that you might not be able to perform well on the role, they can come up with a game and say, "Oh, okay, we don't offer sponsorship." But I can literally tell you that if you see any company online who has a license to sponsor and you're the best candidate for the role, they will definitely sponsor you, because we see that every day. Okay, so ensure that you're able to communicate what your value is. Ensure that you target the right companies. It's not all companies that will sponsor you. All right. And also ensure you're targeting jobs that have the right threshold of what the government has announced, the salary threshold for your job type. Okay. So I don't know. I don't have much time now. So I'm going to quickly show you what Eastcanet looks like pretty much. Can you see my screen now? Is it clear?
Yes, it is.
It is, right. Okay. I'm gonna give it up here. Give it zoom here. All right. So we've been talking about networking, right? Okay. Now, how best can you network with people on the platform here? You have every tools you will ever need to apply for jobs in the UK. Every damn tools you need is on the platform here. Okay. For example, we'll be talking about networking. Probably it's very, very stressful to write networking messages. You could come here, target the person. I'm going to target the president here, gift, right? Okay, so I'm going to target gifts. I can see names there. So target person, probably I want to message gift, right? Or probably Ash too, yeah. I can put what is the recipient's job title, HR, what company, Eric what? Okay, now what is the purpose? Maybe job application. What channel do I want to use? Probably let's say LinkedIn and stuff. Desired call to action, a short conversation. So I could write a little bit about myself here, or ask the platform to generate key messages. Okay, I will like to know more about electrical engineering role in the company. I have 5 years of experience. Let's say, for example, all right, let us put that for example. It will be able to generate a message for you to send to them. Can you see how that works? Okay, and you can easily go in there to type it. It's far, far better than going on ChatGPT and explaining a lot of things from the top. This saves you time. Okay, you're looking for to apply with job specific CV. You can come in onto job specific CV optimizer here, put in your job title, put in the company email, name, I mean, job description, select your CV, and this platform is going to generate a tailored CV for you. So every tool you ever think of. Now, for example, you are a project manager and then you want to become, let me say, for example, I want to become, what am I going to use? Data analyst. Okay, I could say I want to become a data analyst, for example. I could use finance. And then I could pick any of my CV. I'm just going to pick just any CV on here. Just 1 second. Just any CV. I'm going to pick CV that is not relating to data analysis. Okay. So pretty much what that's going to show to you is going to show you the gap you have between where you are and where you want to get to. Okay, it's going to show you what are your existing skills. It's going to show you what are your missing skills, recommended courses, recommended certifications, suggested projects are going to be shown there. Okay, so but in a nutshell, just because of limited time, I don't want to take time too much. All right, endeavor you always engage, please. It's very, very important. We cannot overemphasize on the fact that a lot of international students and skilled migrants do not like to engage. All right, nobody owes you a job. You have to go out there to get it. All right. So I think that ends my slide today. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Matthew, for such a wonderful presentation. The honest insights are very invaluable. And the points around visibility, networking, and being intentional about opportunities is well noted.